You are cutting out absolutely fiercely. And but I think what you said is, why is Clinton giving the president advice?
Now, why is Washington giving Obama advice? Bob, see what you can do about boosting the signal, please. I mean, I don't understand this. I'm hearing.
I've done four programs today. That's 4 hours on the air. I had no problem at all. And the minute I dialed in, I had problems cutting out.
Yeah, we are the number one show on Blog ID because we are number one. The thugs are hitting us like.
Well, it's the government. They don't want what I have to say on the air.
Well, they don't want it in the hands of the military for sure. We know that. I got that question one more time. It is about Warren Buffett giving advice. Obama is asking Warren Buffett to give him advice on the economy. Can you respond?
Well, sure. First of all, Warren Buffett is a fabled investor. He's made most of his money on government contracts and inside information. His firm, about 3 or 4 months ago, which is Berkshire Hathaway, was found guilty of financial fraud, defrauding the government of $300 million. So they fined him $100 million. They got to keep $200 million, and that is what encourages people to become criminals. So that's what I think of Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett is a showman for the Illuminists. He's one of them. You cannot accumulate that kind of a fortune legally in the United States or any other country of that magnitude without being on the inside. So he's there telling the president what to do. The president doesn't make any decisions. He does what he's told. And the powerful people behind the scenes tell him what to do. And he does it.
Okay, we're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we can get this overcome in the break. Obviously, it's on radio and Wind Talkers. Mr. Chapman, if you can get me, we are going to take a break, and we'll be back in about minutes. This is Drew Malone Range III on Radio Network, or heard live around the world on Blog Talk and Wind Talk. We're doing everything we can to overcome a little error in the microphone system and in the studios. My name is Drew Malone Range. We support Mr. Bob Chapman and the International Forecaster. We'll be right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to turn the mic over to Mr. Bachman. And Mr. Chapman, I'm sure that you've things to talk about, and we need you to take the microphone and run with it for about 4 minutes while Bobby and Larissa and myself reboot our computers and see what we can do. It's with you, sir.
Oh, that's fine. It's just that wherever this is coming from,
you're going to go as soon as I turn the show over here in 10 seconds. You're going to have the show for 4 minutes. I really appreciate it. So just say what you want to do. You got 4 minutes. All off, sir.
I got it.
Now.
10-4.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I assume I've taken over. And what I'd like to talk about is the state of the U.S. economy. And they're at a crossroads here. And now that the financial regulations have been approved and probably will be signed by the president shortly, then I would expect that the Federal Reserve will start their quantitative easing 2. This will be the second round, so to speak. And I expect over the next 2.25 years, if they do that, that they will inject about $5 trillion into the economy. And that'll cause lots of inflation. But it'll get the unemployment rate down, and not precipitously. I think they could probably drop it from 22 3/8% back to maybe 18 or 19 at best. And I think that is not worth it. That's an awful lot of money. Inflation could get up to 14% pretty easily. The government would probably admit to 5% under those circumstances. And so it all depends on what the Fed does, because Congress doesn't want to give money to the president with an election coming up. And they have to look like fiscal conservatives. And so that's where that's at. And so the stock market probably has discounted the fact that the Fed will go ahead and do that. And so I don't see much of a run in the market here. It could go higher, but it'll turn and go around and go back down again. And, of course, if they don't come up with the money, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the other averages will fall probably precipitously. They're going to keep interest rates at zero. They're not going to increase them for some time to come. And bonds can't go up much further, if at all. But then again, if they keep interest rates down, they probably won't go down either. As far as Europe's concerned, as I explained earlier, I think that there's a good possibility that there will be no euro 6 months or a year and a half from now. The amount of money involved is probably in the vicinity of $3 to $5 trillion, and those countries can't pay that kind of money off. And they should have never lent it to them in the first place. And so I think that that's where that is going. I don't think that after the election, which is getting very close, August, September, October, we're three months and 3 weeks away from it, so it's getting pretty close. And I think the president was forced by his handlers to bring up the problem that we see with the illegal alien problem in America. There was recently 2 surveys, one last week late and the other one early this week, and people were asked about what Arizona has done, and that is incorporate a law which essentially is very similar to the federal law. And they asked the public whether they agreed or disagreed with what Arizona had done. In one poll, 90% agreed, and the other one, 94%. And I've been watching polls for over 50 years, and I have never seen poll responses that high ever before. And so with that said, taking up that issue at this time was political suicide. But as I said, I don't think it was his choice. I think his handlers told him, this is what you're going to do, and you go do it. And, of course, the Democrats are screaming murder because they're going to have to deal with that trying to get elected, whether it's for Congress or at the local level. And so it's really put Democrats at a tremendous disadvantage. Other things are just as bad, but that happens to be the one of the more important issues at this time. And I think that the American public's, really fed up with what the federal government has done in that matter. And it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. As I said earlier, I don't think cap and trade and the passage of a carbon tax are going to happen. The reason why it's not going to happen is that people know that they don't want another tax, which will double their cost of gasoline and electricity, especially at this time when buying power is diminishing, even though wages are up slightly, they far offset the cost of doing business or living, and they're not happy about that. And global warming is proven to be nothing but a large fraud, and still the Illuminists behind the scenes continue to push this thing because they want that carbon tax so badly. And the reason they want it is to have a flow of funds to federal governments all over the world if everybody passes it.